Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of Belief in Yourself. Now, today we are going to be talking about a definite chief aim. A definite chief aim is going to be the thing that helps you focus. So while I'm sort of doing the intro here, I'd like you to grab your journal. If you remember, a couple of episodes ago, I had you write your passions and your skills. And you've had a little time to think about it by now. And now we're going to take it to the next level. We're actually going to do something about it. So while you're grabbing it, you can either pause this or you can listen to what I've got to say as you grab it. I want to start off by talking about Emile Coué, who was a contemporary of Freud and Carl Jung. One of the things that he used to say was, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Very, very powerful. It was a huge movement in Europe during the time that Carl Jung and Freud were also doing a lot around auto-suggestion. But this is something that I have learned almost as a mantra. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Or every day, in every way, I'm getting smarter and smarter. As I learn things, and maybe I'm approaching tests or something where I need to remember. Every day in every way, I'm getting healthier and healthier for those that are interested or concerned about their health. Every day in every way, I'm getting wealthier and wealthier when it comes to things around finance. Every day I'm getting stronger. Every day in every way I'm getting stronger and stronger. So if you repeat this in the morning, in the evening, throughout the day as sort of a mantra, it'll help get you focused. So hopefully you have your journals now, and I'm going to start with a couple of things. Why your journals? Why write this down? Well, it's very important. The first reason is, the moment I put my plan in writing, I will have definitely given concrete form to my dreams. An analogy is, let's say I want to drive from California to Chicago or Florida to Chicago. I need to be able to do some steps beforehand. I'm not going to just pack a bag, throw it in the car, and start driving willy-nilly. You can do that, but there's a good chance I might get lost along the way. At the very least, I'm going to want a map. I'm going to maybe have a destination in Chicago I want to go to. And I may have a path for how I want to get there. Do I want to cross and maybe see the Grand Canyon? Do I want to go through the northern states? So this all equates to definite chief aim. Chief focusing on those things that are most important to me, those things that are most powerful for me. So there's a number of things we're going to do, and we're going to write down quite a bit today. So I suggest kind of getting ready. And if you take the mindset that we live in a world of abundance, and you can have everything your heart desires, when you believe it, it's very powerful. So to give you, to sort of start this off, I want you to think about this. Thoughts are things, and powerful things, that when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their transition, or I should say they transition into riches or other material objects. So a strongly held, definite chief aim transforms your mind into a powerful magnet, which attracts the people and circumstances necessary for you to accomplish your desire. It's the first step in turning invisible desires into visible reality. Without a clear direction, it's way too easy to drift in your life or through your life like a ship without a rudder. And so the magic around a definite chief aim or a goal, just put it simply, is to help you organize, direct, and harness the infinite power of your mind. I want you to think about that, the infinite power of your mind. And so we're going to go through today to write down a clear description of your definite chief aim. And so then with that, we'll include that statement, which what you're going to give in return. Remember, everything in life, there is a cost for everything in life. So figuring out what it is that you're going to give in return to receive this thing with which you want, which you desire. And if you believe you can, you will attain the thing that you desire. And yes, it will take some action. Yes, it will take some desire, it will take some drive, and you may come against obstacles. But all of these things are normal for moving in the path of what you desire the most. So, and as we write this, I want you to think about this. Our world is made up of 4 areas: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. What happens in the physical world or the material world is just a printout of what happened already or what's already taken place in the mental, emotional, and spiritual world. So if you look at your life and what you've got, it's just a reflection of what's going on inside you. So we're gonna focus on that a little bit later. But that is the purpose for a definite chief aim, is to help focus, get clarity and focus on what it is you want with your life. So if you're ready, at the top of the page, I want you to write a definite chief aim. And in parentheses, you can put a goal, your goal. So first thing is we're going to develop a goal for what you want in your life. And I'd actually write that down as your first line. Develop a goal for what you want in life. So that process begins, and I want you to write it down because it's going to force you to think. Now I want you to think about what you need to do to achieve it. So as we had with our passions and our skills, and we wrote down everything, and we had a chance to think about it, we had a chance to sleep on it, we had a chance, maybe things started coalescing, the brainstorming started, we started getting into a place to where we maybe things started coming to us, especially if you sat down and you meditated on that. I know that you are probably getting some things that are coming up now that maybe you already knew about, or maybe it's something new to you. Maybe it's a little scary. That's okay. So now that thing that you came up with, to give you a perfect example, this very channel is a part of my definite chief aim. I said that I would be doing, I actually specifically wrote down this date. I gave it a date and a time. So I wrote down the date and the time. I wrote down what I would be receiving and, how much I would be receiving, or whether it was monetary, or whether it was some feeling, or whether it was something. What was it that I was going to be receiving? But then I also wrote what I would be giving in order to attain this. So now I want you, in the next line after, think about what you need to do to achieve it. I want you to write this down. Write down your chief aim and read it at least once a day. Better yet, place it somewhere where you can see it all the time. I have one in my wallet. I have one on my mirror in the bathroom. I have one by my front door. I have one by the refrigerator. Any place that I go to regularly. I have one in my office on the cubicle. I not only carry it around with me, I have it in all the visual places, and I make sure I put it in a place where I'll see even just by a mild glance. So once you write down your chief aim, we're going to do this. Now, go ahead and indent under write down your chief aim and read it at least once a day. So this is called autosuggestion, a form of self-hypnosis that will serve to fill your mind with the thought of attaining that goal. By reading it again and again and again, and as I mentioned early on, even using other things like if, let's say, you have some bad thoughts in your head, things that are problematic, work, family, finances, anything, because life is life and this is what happens with us, is replace those real negative thoughts with things like every day and every way I'm getting better and better. And as you get into that frame of mind, which is a little more calm than it was, start reading your definite chief aim on a regular basis. You want to do it almost as a form of self-hypnosis. When you wake up in the morning, before you go to bed, throughout the day. And the reason, a person's actions are always in harmony with the dominating thought in his mind. So you should strive to use the concept of autosuggestion until your mind is filled by the thought of reaching your goal. It's interesting. It's written, a man isn't what he thinks he is, but what he thinks he is. Brian Tracy says, you are what you think about most of the time. Very simple way to place that. And so that very first set for a definite chief aim. Now, what I'd like you to do is I want you to visualize when you get a chance to sit down, take a 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you have time. If you have the ability to sit down for 30 minutes, which takes, trust me, it takes time to get to that place, but you start in the beginning, even if it's a minute, to clear your mind, sit down, and visualize your goal and how you're going to achieve it. So on the next line, let's go down. So we have develop a goal that you want for life. Next, I want you to visualize how you'll achieve your goal. And under that, put an indentation. Don't just visualize the end results. Create a clear picture in your mind of yourself taking the necessary actions to achieve your goal. It's what I'm doing right now. My goal is much larger than just speaking about success and learning. It's actually telling the stories that you're going to connect to. It's about creating visual, audio, in writing, in every way to be able to push it out. My desire is to move into groups of young people in middle school, high school, and be able to drive this kind of very simple steps so that it will help them. It'll give some focus. It'll give some insight, help confidence. All of those things that we find important in our lives. Sometimes it's nice to have someone stand beside us and help us and show us even. So now I want you to create a separate line under the visualize how to achieve your goal, and I want you to write aim high. So under aim high, write this: ambitious goals can be very motivating. Ambitious goals can be very motivating. And then under that, everything that you can imagine can be achieved within reason, right? We're not going to break the laws of gravity or anything like that. It's different if you have wings or you have this, that, or the other, but within reason. Remember that everything you can imagine can be achieved. Napoleon Hill wrote, and yet this is yet another mantra, is what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. And so a definite chief aim, as we talked about the mastermind for being able to really make this organized thought powerful, the beginning is starting with what the mind can conceive. So that little thing where we sat down and we wrote passions and skills was important to get us to a place of conceiving. And if we had a chance to think about it, then we might have created, at least the end result of what we wanted to do, the goal, that thing that we desire. So the first thing was if what the mind can conceive and believe. And so on our next episodes, we're going to talk about, belief, but maybe the things that would hold us up from believing. So as I say, once we get to that point, then we can start working towards achieving Okay, so a definite chief aim, develop a goal for what you want in life, visualize how you will achieve it, aim high, and remember this, a person with a definite chief aim commands respect and attention at all times. It's true, you may not believe it, but it's interesting when someone told me that the seeds of greatness are not within you if you have not learned the habit of saving. And it didn't make sense to me in the beginning. And then I realized the disciplines and the things I would have to do to develop a habit of saving are the same skills and disciplines that are in somebody who has attained greatness. They coincide that much. So remember, a person with a definite chief aim commands respect and attention at all times. And then it is impossible to achieve real success without a set of well-defined goals. This is all gold here, guys. This is really amazing when it sinks in and you realize if you have a set of well-defined goals, the choice is yours. It really comes to desire at that point, at you trying to achieve them, to take the step. Those things of placing that goal and the steps to attain it in front of your mind on a regular basis, it starts changing your mind. It starts changing your chemistry. It starts changing your thoughts. If you believe in the frequency of thoughts, if you believe in the waves of thoughts, if you believe in karma, if you believe that all of these things happen in quantum physics and in physical, the mind, the very chemistry of our mind, as we start thinking about this on a regular basis, it changes. We actually create these compounds within our mind. It not only does that, it forms paths as our synapses fire off, and they create new paths in our brain, and the chemicals that are associated with it all around this thing of visualization. And when you visualize something you've aimed high for, it changes you as a person. You become what you think about most of the time, right? So we're not governed by circumstances. We're governed by something much, much stronger because we've focused on it. And there's laws of attraction. We become like a highly sensitized magnet, and we attract those things with which we focus on most of the time. So it's impossible to achieve real success without a set of well-defined goals. And your goal should be precise. The key is the more precise it is, the better it is. So we talked about aiming high because ambitious goals can be motivating and everything that you can imagine can be achieved. But under a person with a definite chief aim commands respect and attention at all times. Write this. If you truly believe in something and put it into action, there is very little that can stop you. You can stop you, but there's very little other than that that can stop you. If you believe in something and put it into action, there's very little that can stop you. Now, under the line, and hopefully you're writing these down, it is impossible to achieve real success without a set of well-defined goals. Write these down. Without goals, you won't even know you achieved something. So it's a measuring mark. It's a way to measure our water line. How are we doing? Am I a quarter, halfway, 3/4? Have I reached it? Have I attained it? Do I need to set a goal even higher? If you go through life, and write this one down as well, if you go through life without direction, you will waste all your energy and end up nowhere. The analogy that I had earlier of driving to Chicago without even a map, without directions, I may be able to make it there, but what are the chances that I will make it there in the way that I want to make it there, and how I want to make it, and where I'm going to once I get there, and where am I going to stay, and what do I have to have, and is there money involved? I mean, all of these different things. As I get a well-defined goal, I start making sure everything is specifically mapped out. And then if you go through life without direction, you'll waste your energy and end up, it says develop a goal and focus all your energy on achieving it, all your energy. Right now, even myself, I could say I'm a little spread out, but when it comes to really focusing on that with which I want, you do have to develop it. It doesn't just happen. It comes through discipline. It comes through regular thought. It comes through even changing it to making sure my goal is even more well-defined. So under your goal should be precise. Define exactly what business, where it will be located, how much profit you need to achieve, your goal, how much profit you need to achieve your goal. And for every part of life, if you want to achieve something, you want to achieve something, you can set precise goals. So if you want to try an experiment, I did this with my oldest son. He was failing in PE in high school during his first year, and I said, let's do this. We're going to do something very, very simple. We're going to set a goal. What do you want to achieve in PE? And he says, well, I want to get an A. I said, okay, then I want you to write that down right here on a piece of paper. And I want you to think about it as if you've already attained it. So write it down. I have an A in PE, he wrote down. I said, okay, I want you to keep this piece of paper with you, and I want you to write a few more. I want you to put it up on the things that you see when you first wake up in the morning. I want you to put it up in the bathroom where you brush your teeth. I want you to put it in your book or the binder that you see all the time when you're in school. I want you to focus on it, and I want you to say it when you go to school, when you go to your first class, when you leave your class, when you go to this next class, you leave your class, when you're walking. I want you to constantly say this to yourself. I have an A in PE. After about 3 months, 2 months maybe, between 2 and 3 months, guess what? He had achieved an A in PE, and he kept it that way. So I would highly, highly suggest getting a chance to write something small just to test it out and to stay focused. Now, I know this has been long, but it also is really, really important. It's very powerful, and it's gonna make the difference in your life. So remember, a definite chief aim. Now, we've talked about each of those things. Next time, we're gonna talk about what are the things that could keep you from believing that you can do it. So, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions or you want any detail on any of these episodes, you can reach me by sending an email to belief4in4yourself. Belief4in4yourself. And if you've enjoyed this, if this has helped at all, please subscribe and send me a comment. Let other people know what you think, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. I'd like to hear from you. And if you've enjoyed this, at least like what you've seen, and let me know. I look forward to talking to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.